Good Tuesday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video driven by 802cars.com representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities, Subaru, 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Big picture right now, we'll look at the precipitation. We have a few thunderstorms across the Catskills and then into a couple isolated cells over southern parts of New England. Not expecting anything major for our locations. However, there could be some isolated thunderstorm activity embedded within rain showers a little bit later on this afternoon over parts of southern Vermont. Also, a weak frontal boundary will then push south and affect us during the late overnight period. No thunderstorms expected. However, I'm looking at a little bit of rain shower activity as it works through in the pre-dawn hours. And roughly by dawn, a little bit of sprinkles or light rain showers in parts of northern Vermont. Then that pretty much becomes washed up. Looking at dew point temperatures, you can see that some pretty moist weather here is continuing to flow into our neck of the woods here on a west and sometimes southwesterly wind aloft. Dew point temperatures ranging to the 70s. That's pretty significant. And you put these together, the heat indices are quite something in some locations. Temperatures basically 93 in Boston currently. They have a heat emergency taking place. And you can see where the heat indices are. They're hottest late this morning and early this afternoon. And giving you the latest right here, 92 degrees over toward Ottawa, 84 over toward Montreal with a cloud cover. And we're staying out of it, luckily, here in Vermont with a much cooler day with an overcast sky. Looking at the incrementals of the European model here, we can see a little bit of shower activity encroaching mostly across parts of New York, where we were just seeing that. And a little bit into southern Vermont, mainly our southern counties of Bennington and Windham County, maybe a little bit into Rutland and Windsor County, where we could see some isolated embedded thunderstorms within an area of rain showers. That happening later on this afternoon. This is valid, by the way. 21Z is 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And so that lingers into the early evening hours and into the overnight. From this point on, you can see just a little bit of this precipitation just out ahead of a weak frontal boundary that's going to be pushing into the Northeast Kingdom, and then basically it falls apart during the morning hours on Wednesday. Wednesday, just a little bit of residual isolated leftover shower or thunderstorm across mainly our southern counties once again during the afternoon. This is valid 5 p.m. on Wednesday. And then we dry out. Things will improve. We got a flow of air that's going to be pushing in thanks to an area of higher pressure up here. And this is associated with a colder air mass that's come out of the really southern Arctic region and northern portions of Canada and Alaska. This is going to be enough to control the weather for Thursday with a good project weather day. And it should also feel very, very delightful. Much lower humidity levels. We're talking dew points basically down into the 50s. And daytime highs basically in the 70s, nighttime lows into the 50s. It's looking pretty good. And our weather, our temperature scenario after this heat wave that's been fairly significant, it does look like things are going to plateau, and with the coolest weather working in probably over Friday and maybe on Saturday, and then the temperatures rebound just a little bit. Now on Friday there is this, you can see this weather system here. It's going to be basically streak south and east and into the state of Vermont. The hope is we can get some much needed rain out of it. It's not really a whole lot. Let me switch this to 0Z just to continue that along. Here's our weather system again, that precipitation beginning to streak into the region, and in some locations, really across central Vermont, there appears to be a fairly narrow band. The modeling this far out around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday wouldn't hold it to it completely, but there is something there that it wants to add a little additional precip. That's all good. We need it. And then this is into Friday night, and a little bit of lingering shower activity into the day on Saturday. You can see just barely something going on there. Now, by the time we get into Sunday, we're looking at a drier weather day, but there is a sort of secondary trough of lower pressure that's going to be working on through the shortwave, and it's going to probably make for some rain showers beyond the period here into Sunday, mainly Sunday night and into the day on Monday, and that does linger just a tiny bit into Tuesday with some potential for some thunderstorms thrown in as well. But that's way around the corner. Nothing particularly unusual or particularly strong or severe. This is 3-hourly QPF for the Jeffs, or GFS ensemble forecast, using also with some Canadian ensemble. We're looking at precipitation just about daily each afternoon, a little bit of an uptick here, and then we do dry out, and then we see a little bit of a return of that based on what they're looking at. Now, overall precipitation, the total quantitative precipitation forecast is under a half inch here. The European differs considerably with closer to 1 inch amounts. Weather Prediction Center, this is the way their thinking is. The blue line here is 1 inch amounts. The green line is a half inch. This is a quarter of an inch. So areas of northern and eastern parts of Vermont, once again, relatively dry. The European, again, showed that little bit of a swath kind of working in with that northwesterly flow system. We'll see what happens, and maybe we'll be a little bit better than this. On the temperature end, this is our heat wave, or the leftovers, with well above normal temperatures. Temperature anomalies at 2 meters. And you can see some colder weather across the northern tier regions of Canada. A little bit into the west coast. There's a big trough of lower pressure that's affecting portions of the west coast now. California, Pacific Northwest is cooling it on down. And looking at our 2-meter temperatures here for Montpelier, Vermont, with the GFS ensemble, you can see that a slightly cooler day today, just a tad warmer. Then we see this fall in temperature. Now, looking at the dew points, these are beautiful conditions. Daytime highs basically in the low 70s, nighttime lows around in the 50s. And looking at our temperature dew points, you can see that we're up around 65, almost 70 for a good portion of the day. Then we're looking at tomorrow, that major transition, and then much drier conditions for a couple days. And then we kind of level it out with a little higher amounts of humidity, but nothing major at that point as we get into this coming weekend. The daily moss for the next 5 days, high temperatures, average pretty close to near normal. A little bit below normal to our south and to our north and east. A little bit above normal to our northwest. 3 days later, not a whole lot of change. A little bit of a heat, some heat waves starting to return here across the Rockies into the northern plains. But it's going to remain cool in Vermont with near normal and a little bit below normal off the southern New England coast. Nothing to worry about in terms of hurricanes or tropical cyclones. We're looking pretty good in that department right now. We could have a busy, active season, however, but probably not until sometime around late July and into the month of August and beyond. We'll be watching that carefully. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.